Hello again, everyone. Kind of right in the middle of a new project I've started, but I thought I'd show you what I'm doing. We've had these old barn timbers. Most of them are 6x6. Some of them are in bad shape. Some of them are in okay shape. We got these from a friend of ours about 7 or 8 years ago and had them stacked here in the shop ever since then. But we're going to build a couple of raised bed gardens, probably right in there in that area, away from the yard and the edge of the field. I really haven't decided how long I'm going to build them and how wide. It depends on what I get pulled out here, and I can do some measuring. You can see all the ones that I've drug out already. And to drag them out, I'm just using a chain, wrapping around them, pull them out in the grass. Then I'm going to put the grapple on and arrange them, put the longer ones together and the shorter ones together, and maybe we can tell more what we're going to be doing then. Here's how I'm getting the chain underneath each one. Just using this pry bar, raising them up. Wrap the chain around and hook it. Saves a lot of lifting that way. I had all of this piled on top of those, so I'm going to come up with a plan to get these off my assembly table. All right, that took about 10 minutes of actual time. So now we have the longer ones here, medium-sized ones there, and we got the shorter ones over here.
what's the plan now that these are not as big as we had hoped?
Well, Rita made the executive decision, and then we're just going to make a bigger one right here. I'll leave enough room where I can mow through here.
Or weed eat.
Or weed eat. And we're going to use those 2 long ones for that, so that'll be probably 10 foot long. That'll be this way with 2 end pieces. And that'll give us more room for whatever else we want to grow.
Yeah, these might end up being tomatoes and flowers, because the squashes needs a little more room, don't you think, maybe?
All right, so I'm going to pick up the debris, get everything out of the way as best I can, and we'll pick them 2 up and put them over here.
How many inches you need there, Daryl?
78. I'm thinking, even though that one's got a notch, the top side's probably okay.
And this side's got a notch down here.
But there's 78.
Yep.
Go right there. That's it for day 1. We got them pretty much laid out where we want them. Okay, another day, and we're back on the raised beds, try to get them finished up. Where the timbers join, this is some old roofing material, barn roof, and I've cut enough of these to put on top of the joints where the 2 meet in the corners. Then I have, that goes with that. Then I have some longer strips that I'm going to put around the ends, kind of at the ground. But I need to get the ribs out of these. So we're going to flatten these out. Just have this old piece of railroad tie. I'll take the hammer and flatten the ribs out some where they'll lay down better. I'm going to use this hammer. It's got a pretty good sized flat end on it. Don't have to be perfect, just flatten it out some where it'll lay down better. So same thing on these. Now before we go out and put these on, I'm going to round all the edges like that one prevent jabbing you and getting your finger in it by mistake. Trying to do a little light rain on us this morning, but I'm going to do a couple of these. That's the general idea. And then these long ones, I'm gonna put them right there. Well, the rain got me. Hopefully this will stop in the next hour or so. All right, back at it again this afternoon. Rain, light rain pretty much all day, but now it's cleared off a little. Sun's out. First, I'm gonna put this creek sand in. You can see I've already dumped. This is 4 scoops. I'm gonna spread it out now. Use a hand rake. And then we'll put some dirt on top of that. Cap it off. Well, I think that's enough sand, so let's go see if we can find some good dirt. I mentioned in one of my videos this spring about all this sand that got washed up when the creek got out, and that's where I'm getting the dirt at. I got the sand that was on top to put in the beds first, and now I'm digging down deeper and getting some really nice dirt down in the bottom there. I think we have enough in this one, and probably enough in this one. I dumped it diagonally, but I believe when I rake it down, it'll be enough. Well, that one I had plenty of dirt. It is slightly mounded up in the center, but I'm sure that'll settle some. 2 more scoops over there. I'm gonna break out what I've already dumped in here and see how far it goes, but looks like it went about 1/3 of the way, so probably 2 more scoops. Well, just a little bit too much still in the bucket there. But all 3 of them filled and ready to plant. So hopefully in the next day or 2 we'll get some tomatoes and some squash. Reedy's wanting to put out some wildflowers or some kind of flowers, so we'll do that. And we'll see if we can make anything grow here. Okay, back down here where I got the sand and the dirt. And you notice I made a pile of sand where I dug down to get some good dirt. But there's also a lot of sand here in front of the tractor that washed up, and it's in the field where I mow. So rather than use the sand I've got there and just pull it back down in that hole, I'm going to try to push some of this and get it off the field, because it's pretty deep right in here, and when I mow with the finish mower, that can't be good on the spindle bearings, having that sand flying around up in there. So I'm going to see if I can get some of it pushed away. Well, we got some of it pushed down in there, so hopefully that'll be better. How about some free mulch? Large pine tree here in the yard and taken my rake and picked up probably 1/3 of the pine needles that have fallen. And this cart is full. So, free mulch. Well, more than enough. Use probably about half of that cart full. We've got a pretty good layer on all three. Now all we need is some seed and some plants. All right, we have tomatoes planted here in this bed. I splurged and bought one larger plant to get a head start. These others were all in one container, but they're healthy looking. Flowers are in there. We planted seeds, so they haven't came up yet. And in the larger bed, I planted some yellow squash seed in this area. And then up here, we have some zucchini squash, these 3 plants. And this is some cantaloupe, these 3. I planted these yesterday late in the afternoon, and we got a pretty decent rain before dark, maybe a 1/4 inch. Rained pretty hard for a little while. So that makes them look better this morning with that pine mulch. So that completes this video on making some raised garden beds. Thanks for watching. See you next time. We hope you've enjoyed the video. And if you did, how about giving us a like and subscribe to our channel? Thanks.